6 Tips to Turn Weaknesses into Strengths. We must always focus on being better at who we are and what we do. That is why, in this video, we show you some tips to turn your weaknesses into strengths. Weaknesses can be understood as those deficient qualities of our personality that lead to poor performance in an area. An example of this is the inability of someone to express themselves to an audience. On the contrary, strengths are those personal qualities that define us as good or experts at something. Now, we all have weaknesses. However, this does not imply that we do not work on them, as it is important that we always aim to be better people. With that said, here are some tips to help you turn weaknesses into strengths. So don't miss it. Keys to turning weaknesses into strengths. An important aspect to achieve personal development is overcoming our limits. Here, we will show you how to achieve it. 1. Identify your weaknesses. The first step is to accept that you have weaknesses. From there, you should know what they are. For this, we advise you to make a list of the situations whose results have not been favorable. After you have the list, identify what traits these situations have in common. If many of them share a characteristic, then it is a weakness. A weakness may have to do, for example, with communication skills. You can also ask your closest social circle for opinions, as it is often difficult for us to see our weaknesses. In this case, you can ask them what aspect they think you could improve. This will give you a more objective perspective on the matter. 2. Find the best way to work on your weaknesses. Once you have identified your weaknesses, choose those that you consider most important to work on. Then identify the best way to strengthen them. In general, the weak areas of our personality are enhanced through a workshop, training, or some course oriented to it. If you are more self-taught, another option is self-help books or online preparation materials. On the other hand, if the source of your weaknesses is emotional, you could also consult with a therapist to help you address the underlying problems. 3. Use your strengths to overcome weaknesses. A good way to turn weaknesses into strengths is by taking advantage of the skills we already have. Therefore, we also advise you to make a list of your strengths. For example, suppose you are a very studious person with a high disposition to learn, but you have a panic about speaking in public. In this case, you can use academic tools, such as workshops or courses, to overcome this weakness. 4. Set specific goals. It is also important that you set clear goals and time limits to achieve them. This will help you create a sense of responsibility and give you an end goal. Also, the ideal is that you formulate progressive steps that guide you. For example, if you want to strengthen your public speaking skills, set your ultimate goal to give a presentation confidently to a large group of people. But it also formulates feasible steps to reach that goal. First step, write a speech. Second step, give the speech in an empty room. Third step, present the speech to one person. Step 4, give the speech to several people. 5. Celebrate your little achievements. Every time you take those little steps and are over them, take your time to celebrate. It is important that you feel happy with your achievements, no matter how minimal. This will keep you motivated to keep going. 6. Lean on others. Having the help of others is a strength in itself to face any situation. So don't hesitate to ask your loved ones for support. Most likely, they will always be willing to give you a hand whenever you need it. Also, one way to turn weaknesses into strengths is by observing how other people perform those activities. For example, if one of your friends has the ability to speak in public without expressing a hint of fear, take advantage of the fact that you have him to teach you his techniques. Weaknesses and strengths to be better people. It is always good to aim to be a better person and want to turn weaknesses into strengths. However, we must not fall into the trap of perfectionism. Therefore, it is also essential that we accept that we are beings with weaknesses and that we learn to love ourselves with them.